Welcome to Rakuten. We hope you enjoy this video presentation of Rakuten's consolidated financial results for the first quarter of 2015. To start, we would like to show two news items. Firstly, Rakuten received the Commissioner of the Japan Patent Office Award at the fiscal 2015 Intellectual Property Achievement Awards ceremony. Rakuten received the award as a good standing company utilizing the intellectual property rights system, and is the first company in the e-commerce field to receive the award. Rakuten has worked hard to bolster systems and heighten staff consciousness of intellectual property-related issues. Rakuten believes it received the award because of its contributions to technological innovation in the Internet industry through such intellectual property-related initiatives. And secondly, the average score of TOEIC, an English test of all Rakuten employees, surpassed an important milestone of 800 as of March 2015, and our targeted TOEIC level has now been achieved by Rakuten employees. The benefits of our Englishnization program continue to be seen in the development of our global business. Our ability to recruit high-caliber, non-Japanese-speaking software engineers for our Tokyo headquarters, better global knowledge sharing, and more person-to-person contact with our overseas offices, and especially the speed of communication with our overseas offices has dramatically improved. Moving on to our first quarter 2015 results. Here are the highlights. We delivered a strong quarter, with non-GAAP operating income growing by double digits year-on-year, boosted by a significant reduction in losses at other Internet services year-on-year, and our Internet Finance segment again achieved strong operating income growth of 38.8% year-on-year. First quarter revenue grew 14.9% year-on-year to 158.8 billion yen, and non-GAAP operating income was up 17.3% year-on-year to 32.1 billion yen. Looking at the details by segment, Rakuten Ichiba and Rakuten Travel were impacted by strong demand ahead of the consumption tax rise last year. But their results were still firm, and two-year CAGR for these combined businesses were still strong, with revenue CAGR at 9.5% and operating income CAGR at 6.1%. Other Internet services showed a solid 5.5 billion yen shrinkage in operating losses. Internet Finance operating income soared 38.8% year-on-year. The other segment was impacted by the consolidation of Viber from the second quarter of 2014 and the absence of a 2 billion yen transfer fee of a key baseball player in the first quarter of 2014. Here is a slide showing reconciliation between IFRS operating income and non-GAAP operating income. Amortization of intangible assets and stock-based compensation grew year-on-year to retain key staff at recent acquisitions, whilst we had no significant one-off items this first quarter. At other Internet services, we cut operating losses by more than half year-on-year. We are succeeding with strict cost control at Kobo, along with a focus on the gross profits of the content business. Total domestic gross transaction value hit 1.7 trillion yen, up 12.8% year-on-year, led by Rakuten Travel and Rakuten Card. Overseas e-commerce GMS, with the addition of Ebates, amounted to 140.4 billion yen in the first quarter of 2015, for a growth rate of 47.8% year-on-year. Moving on to Internet Finance. Rakuten Card revenue grew by 20.2% year-on-year, and operating income jumped by 53.1% year-on-year. Profits were boosted by about 1.2 billion yen due to our adoption of IFRS 15, allowing Rakuten Card to amortize customer acquisition costs as opposed to expensing them each quarter. The operating income margin at Rakuten Card grew to 22.7%, almost 5 percentage points higher year-on-year. Rakuten Card shopping transaction value grew 16.5% year-on-year, and revolving balances grew by 23.8% year-on-year. These numbers were slightly impacted by the growth ahead of the consumption tax rise in April 2014. Rakuten Bank was also a strong performer, with revenue up 22.7% year-on-year, and operating income jumping by 57.3% year-on-year due to the top-line growth and successful cost controls. Rakuten Bank's core net business profit also showed solid growth. Rakuten Bank's super loan receivables and loan customers produced healthy advances again, both rising by over 20% year-on-year. Rakuten Bank deposits also showed a steady increase. Once again, Rakuten Bank received the Best Direct Bank Award for 2015 by the Asian Banker. At Rakuten Securities, revenue grew by 15.8% year-on-year and operating income by 19.8% year-on-year. Rakuten Securities Investment Trust asset balance has now surpassed half a trillion yen, up 45.9% year-on-year. Rakuten Securities Investment Trust sales grew by 67.8% year-on-year, hitting a record high of 129.2 billion yen. Foreign exchange trading value also remained healthy in the first quarter of 2015, more than doubling year-on-year. Rakuten Securities stock brokerage trading value continued to show solid levels. At Rakuten Life Insurance, revenue was up 19% year-on-year, and non-GAAP operating income showed strong growth of 37.5% year-on-year. And the number of policies and annualized insurance premiums also continued to see good advances. Let's move on to our domestic internet services. Domestic e-commerce GMS was flat year-on-year as expected due to strong demand ahead of the consumption tax rise last year, but two-year CAGR is still a healthy 14.2%. So far in the second quarter, Ichiba is off to a good start. Domestic e-commerce GMS in the month of April showed a strong rebound in the growth rate to over 20% year-on-year. Ichiba's revenue and operating income were both down by single digits year-on-year. Quarterly unique buyers on Ichiba grew by 1.8% year-on-year, with a two-year CAGR at 8.9%. During the quarter, we started a locker service with Japan Post so customers can pick up packages anytime, anywhere. We also successfully released Ginger Mirror, a free smartphone fashion magazine linked with e-commerce functions. This was launched on April the 14th with Gentosha. In the first quarter, 47% of all GMS of Ichiba was transacted on a mobile device. This is one of the highest mobile ratios amongst global e-commerce companies. Rakuten is a global leader in mobile services, and our strength in mobile, big data analysis, and merchant relationships should help us to accelerate our growth rates in e-commerce. Looking at our distribution of merchant plans, The proportion of larger sales-sized merchants signing up for our Mega and Standard plans continues to rise. We have e-commerce consultants which have strong relationships with merchants dedicated to guiding our merchants towards sustained growth. Merchant numbers increased in the last few months, and GMS per merchant is steady despite the headwinds in the first quarter 2015. On Ichiba, we continue to promote initiatives for a safe, secure online shopping mall enhancing measures. The number of brands we have tied up with to prevent fake goods has now exceeded 1,000. The tie-up brands include Hermes, Coach, Nike, and other famous brands. We also work with associations such as Union des Fabricants and CODA, the Content Overseas Distribution Association. At Rakuten Travel, gross booking transaction value grew by 20.9% year-on-year, thanks to strong Golden Week bookings, as this year, holiday makers can get 5 straight days of vacation. Rakuten Travel revenue grew by 7.5% year-on-year and operating income by 4.5% year-on-year. Let's look at our overseas e-commerce. Our 3 key projects for overseas e-commerce are expanding the Ebates model, developing cross-border transactions, and implementing RMSG, our Rakuten Merchant Server Global System, to more and more countries. Ebates GMS grew by 55.3% year-on-year. The Ebates business model continues to expand globally, with Ebates.cn in China enabling Chinese consumers to buy from retailers in the U.S. Ichiba merchants in Japan are also expanding their sales to overseas buyers on our Rakuten Global Marketplace. Ichiba total GMS sold to consumers in China grew rapidly in the first quarter. Moving on to digital content. Rakuten Kobo registered users grew by 19.8% year-on-year to 23.8 million users. We announced the acquisition of Overdrive, offering ebook services to libraries in March. 90% of American and Canadian public libraries are customers of Overdrive. And here's a list of selected library and educational institutions which use Overdrive's services, which includes many well-known names. Let's watch the movie about Overdrive.
本日、楽天株式会社は、米国のオーバードライブの 100% の株式を買収することを正式に決議し、本日発表いたします。コボは本を購入したい人のために、そしてオーバードライブは図書館や学校で本を借りたい人のために存在しています。この2つは両輪だというふうに考えています。コボが読者の読書体験を多様化してきたように、今回のオーバードライブのグループ化によってさらに本を愛する方々の読書体験を豊かにしていきたいというふうに考えております。
It's for this reason I couldn't be any more excited and proud to be partnering with a leader in internet commerce, in digital content, and innovation. And together with Kobo and all of the other international opportunities, I'm very excited and proud to be working with Rakuten, and we have a very exciting digital content business ahead.
We are still in the early years of a 25-year digital book transformation, and we are positive on the long-term growth potential of this industry. At our video streaming business, Viki, monthly active users grew by 37% year-on-year to 40.1 million users. User engagement is increasing, hitting 2.9 billion minutes of watch time during the quarter, a growth rate of 55% year-on-year. We believe this shows the outstanding monetization potential for advertising and other revenue sources. Lastly, moving on to our Others segment. Viber monthly active users grew to 249 million in April 2015. Viber unique IDs grew to 573 million as of the end of April. Viber continues to be highly valued by the user base with ongoing strong ratings on App Annie. Rakuten Mobile also continued to expand its MVNO lineup and services during the quarter with aggressive marketing measures. That concludes this video presentation of Rakuten's first quarter 2015 consolidated financial results. We do appreciate your interest in Rakuten.